How many of you want to live a fulfilled life? Type a F in the comment box. Let the F's comes in. Yes. Aurelia, yes. Monish, yes. And how many of you realize that life has more to offer? Type in M for more. And finally, do you sometimes feel stuck, empty, or unfulfilled at times? Type S for stuck. Yes, the S's are coming in. My name is Joachim. I'm from Norway, and I believe my purpose is to guide you to live a fulfilled life. And I'm really curious, how many of you had to shift some things around or make some prioritization to be able to get on this session? Type a P for prioritizations if you had to make some decisions to be here. Yes, really, yes. You can see the P's there. And I really want to acknowledge you for your presence despite your busy schedule. Because how many of you are still thinking about the other things on your agenda? Type OT. And despite those other things, you decide to be here. And that's great because you decide to be here to invest in yourself. So in a moment, on the count of 3, I invite you to pat yourself on the shoulder and just acknowledge yourself for being here. 1, 2, 3. Yes. And by playing full out with me for the next, I believe we're going to be here together for around 90 minutes, is that you're going to get practical tools to look inward so you can have more inner peace and freedom. Type a 1 in the comment box if you love the sound of that. Yes, thank you. And secondly, you're going to discover how you can be the most magnificent version of yourself in any situation across all contexts of life. And this is so important, to, among other things, just to live life at your terms. Type a 2 in the chat if you love the sound of this. Yes. And thirdly, we're going to dig into how you can be bursting within the power so you can forge your future with focus, clarity, and confidence. And type a 3 in the comment box if you like that. Yes. And before we dig into this, it's okay if I tell you a little bit about myself. Type yes. Thank you. Now, my career started out in the armed forces, and I was there for 10 years. It taught me a lot about structure, commitment, discipline, and leadership. And for the past 3 years, I've been empowering people all around the world to find freedom, peace, and love within themselves, to help them live life at their terms. And for the past year, I've also been a senior leader with Tony Robbins' organization, which means I am trained in his coaching and intervention skills to facilitate breakthroughs. And I come back to his events to support the participants there getting the breakthroughs they're looking for. And where I'm now, it hasn't always been this way. Recently, a few years back, I had a wake-up call that got 100% of my attention. I found myself settling into what I thought was my dream job at the time, but something was nagging inside of me. I didn't know at the time, but I was acting like a pressure cooker. It's kind of like a vicious cycle in which I was only focusing on the negative. I was blaming myself for everything that happened. How many of you ever blamed yourself for things that have happened? Type a B in the comment box. And I was so lonely. I was so sad. I felt stuck. And at one point, I had enough. And it was one day commuting to office that I was listening to Tony Robbins. How many of you have heard about Tony Robbins? You can type a TR in the comment box. And Tony Robbins, yes, Manish, yes, Aurelia, yes. Tony Robbins, he said while I was listening to him that it's in the moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. And that morning, I decided to quit my job because I hated it, and instead to pursue my dream of becoming an entrepreneur with more freedom. And how many of you would like more freedom in your life? Type F in the comment box. Yes, freedom. Thank you. And just how many of you notice that I ask a lot of questions? You can type a Q in the chat box. Are any one of you annoyed by all of these questions already? Can type an A. And I just want to let you know that thank you. I really appreciate your honesty. And I can tell you that the reason I ask all these questions is not because I want you to feel stupid in any way. It's not because I want you to feel like childish. The reason I'm doing this is because, let me just bring up my whiteboard here. The reason I do this is because we are here to talk about life. And life, guys, guess what? Put it in the chat box. What do you believe life requires, guys, to live life at the fullest? Put it in the comment box. What does life require to live it at the fullest, to live life at your terms, to have the most magnificent time? Life requires energy. Yes, it builds upon what comes in there: enthusiasm, yes, passion, participation, and energy. You guys got this. And there is actually some research show that you will learn more when you are awake as opposed to when you are asleep. And it's all about this enjoying life to the fullest. So we need to be awake because life is richest when we have the most energy. And with that, I also want to welcome you to this show, to this tribe that I call the Awakening Embrace Fulfillment. Why do I call it a tribe? Because I'm curious to hear from you. Put it in the comment box, like, what does tribe mean to you guys? Type that in. What do you see when we're talking about a tribe? We talk about coming together. Because that's what it's about for me. It's this journey that we are on together. We are embarking on this journey. Yeah, I can see Aralia says connection, Monish, association. Exactly. We are here on this journey together to support each other, because I heard this proverb once that if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go further, if you want to go even longer, go together. And that's why I'm so passionate to have you here. For those of you who are in with me in the tribe, in the Zoom room with me here, for those of you who are listening on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button so we can continue this journey and you can tune in along the way as we embark on this journey. And we are really here to start exploration of a 3-step process. Type a 3 in the comment box. That is all about, that we'll start with. Let's see, just need to bring up the right whiteboard there. And that really is all about, first and foremost, getting clarity. Because being present, being aware, being conscious about one's life, about one's habits, about what's really going on, that's the key to making a positive change. Type a P for positive in the comment box. And this awareness, with that in place, you can actually make a decision. Type a D, decision, on where you want to go to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be. How many of you have like a gap in your life, something you might want to achieve? Maybe you want to be more, maybe you want to do more, maybe it's about giving more, loving more, whatever it is. You can type me in the chat box. Yes, the me's are coming in. Yes, and we all had that, because I really believe that we're on this planet because as we grow, we're meant to take on bigger and bigger challenges, whatever that means. As I said, whether that's loving more, whether that's giving more, doing more, whatever that is. But as we grow, to take on some bigger and bigger thing in our life, because maybe you're a parent, maybe you want to be a parent today. How many of you are parents today? You type a P in the chat to let me see that if you're a parent today. Yes. Thank you. How many of you want to be parents? You can type a W. And maybe you don't want to be a parent. That's fine too. You can type a D, don't want to be. That's fine too. Now, but for example, then, if you surround yourself, maybe you have a community, maybe you're part of a sports team, whatever it is, we talked about this, being part of a tribe, and then it's coming together to build something bigger. And then it's suddenly not just about yourself anymore. So with that clarity, we can make a decision, because with that decision made, we can really decide and work on doing to integrate, to really find the ways on how can we make it easy for ourselves. Type an E in the chat box for easy, because that's the word. How can we make it easy for ourselves to live as this most magnificent version of ourselves on a daily basis? Thank you, Monish. Thank you. So how many of you think that this could be pretty powerful if we could get to apply this to the area of life that we want to grow more or achieve something? Type a me in the chat box. Yes, thank you. Now, what gets in the way of people being able to achieve what they really want to achieve in their life? What I've seen and really been aware of over the years, and I've been there too, is many people, they ignore what is going on. They, for example, say that my relationship is great when it isn't really. Maybe they say, I really thrive at my work, when they might feel stuck or ready to move on. And many people are also blaming. They point at someone else and give them the reason why things aren't working out. How many of you ever blamed someone? Yes, I've done that. Now, it might not be your fault, but does it really help you pointing at someone, giving them, blaming them, giving them the thing for why it's not working? No. And many people are also justifying, they're making excuses, they have explanations for why things doesn't work. That could be, for example, the reason I couldn't come on time to the meeting is because of the red lights in the street. But hey, come on, you could have drawn earlier. The reason I couldn't finish the report is because my partner needed some things done. Whatever it is. How many of you ever made some justifications or excuses? Yes, I have too. So how many of you realize that you're not going to change from any of these standpoints? Type in the comment box, what kind of standpoint do you need to come from in order to be able to get this awareness? We talked about that clarity, so you can make a decision and so that you can integrate. Type in the comment box. I can see open. Yeah, you definitely need to be open. That's part of it. And you really need to be what? It starts with an R. Type it in the comment box. For those of you who are tuning in from YouTube as well, type it in. Yeah, you need to be willing to change. That's a big part of it. I love it. Thank you, guys. And in order to be able to make these positive changes, you got to have respect for people around us as well. That's true as well. Aurelia, yes. And we really gotta be what's the word, guys? Yes, we need to be responsible. Thank you. We need to be responsible because we come from that standpoint when we really, as you said, are open, when we let the truth comes forth, when we are truthful to ourselves, then we can see magic happening. So, as I said, like magic happening. So some of you might like think that you are like over here today and that you might want to kind of grow or even like transform into something, whatever you call it, even bigger, more magnificent, whatever it is. How do you think that you want to transform into something more bigger, whatever it is? Type a T in the chat for transform. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, T. Yes. Thank you. Yes. And I had this belief as well for a long time. And I also want to share this perspective with you that I adopted from many of my mentors, that this is not about transformation, because transformation can easily presuppose that something is really wrong, that you really must change, or maybe become someone else. I think that this purpose is just about unlocking what's already inside of you, becoming that most magnificent version of yourself, where you're bursting within the power, where you find back to that love, that joy, that happiness, and you just be you, the most magnificent version of yourself, where you get the most inspiration and the biggest drive to work towards whatever it is that you want to work, where that's a deeper connection in relationships. Maybe it's becoming the even more valuable guru at your workplace, or a champion in your community, whatever it is. Unlocking that's what already inside of you. So in order to make some positive changes, first and foremost, does this make sense, guys? Can you type MS in the comment box? Type MS if this makes sense. Yes, thank you. So in order to like start creating this positive change to really unlock the most magnificent version of ourselves, it's all about, in the end, it's going to be some kind of result. I'm not necessarily talking about some tangible results in amount of money or buying a car or number of real estates, whatever it is. This also could be about, that confidence and love, whatever it is. You can type in the chat, like, what are some things that you guys are looking to accomplish, to achieve, to do, maybe share, maybe contribute, whatever it is. I'm curious. Let's put that in the comment box. Through self-love to serve others. I love that, Aurelia. Yes. Growth and contribute. I love that. Thank you, Manish. Yes. Fantastic. And in order to be able to bring these results into the world, what needs to happen in order to actually make it happen? What do you need to do, guys, in order for that to happen? You need to take action. Yes, Manish. Yes. I said it as well. Yes. And on that journey as well, as you guys say, love yourself and believe. And yes, keyword here, action. We need to take the steps to go out. And what really affects what kind of actions you take? What will determine what you guys are doing? You guys have already put some of this in the chat. I maybe see my camera stop working. Let's see if I can get that started again. While that is starting, put it in the chat. like in order to take that action, what does really need to, like what needs to be in place inside yourself in order for you to take action? Yes, there needs to be belief, determination. Yes. Yes. So in order to get this, there needs to, you really like need to have in place some certain, yes, focus, determination. All of these things are true. And what does that mean? It means like it's part of what you believe your potential is. It's part of what kind of attitudes you have, what kind of mindset do you have? Where is your focus going, as you guys said? What are you determined to do? This is all right, guys. Yes. And what is the foundation for our potential, and that mindset, that attitude, that focus, that belief we have that we just brought up in red? What's the foundation for that? That is what you already put in there, actually. Belief and what I would, yes, self-belief. Yes, that's one key of it. And like one of my source of inspiration, Blair Singer calls it, he calls it self-concept. And what a self-concept? You guys already said this with self-belief, like what you believe about yourself and your self-worth. How do you really like see yourself? How do you feel about yourself? And self-esteem, how well you like yourself. And this self-esteem especially shows up when you face challenges or resistance, obstacles. Because in face of such challenges or rejection, how well you like yourself will really show up. Because if you really believe in yourself, then what will stop you guys if you really believe in yourself? Type it in the comment box. Nothing. Yes. Thank you. Nothing. But if our self-esteem, how we feel about ourselves is so low, and we face a rejection, we might give up in the right away. Make sense? Yes. So this is, yeah, you typing MS. Yes, I love it. So what is your self-worth? What is that ideals? What is the image? This is the self-concept. And in 2015, I asked myself, can I just have a normal life? Let me tell you about a really dark period of my life. I'm 23, it's 2015, and I'm in Oslo, and I wake up in my bed and I grab for my phone. How many of you grab for your phone first thing in the morning? Type a P for phone in the comment box. Yes, good to hear I'm not alone. Thank you. I look at the phone and I see there are 16 missed calls on the phone. And I see these calls are from my stepmom. I feel with a mix of curiosity and being anxious. What's this about? I call her back. Joachim, you need to come here. Your dad is in hospital. He attempted to kill himself and you need to come now. I am scared and also feel very lonely in the moment. I figure out, they told me they are in a city 2 hours away, and so I need to get myself a car so I can drive there. And I figure out I can call my boss, tell him I'm not going to be able to be in the office today, and to borrow a car from my employer. Soon after, I find myself on the road asking this question, what has happened? It's like I'm physically in the car, but mentally somewhere else. I mean, you ever had that experience that you're mentally somewhere totally different? You can, yes, thank you. So the question comes over and over again. What happened? Why does this happen? What's going on? What's this about? I am stressed. A little bit later, I find myself at the entrance of the hospital, about to walk in, and I am 23 years old, but I really feel like 4 years old. I am scared. I am angry. I'm at a point where I just want to go in and shake my dad and like say, can't you take care of yourself? Like he's meant to be the dad for his son that looks out for me, and now I have to come and look out for him. I walk down the corridor that gives access to the room where he is, and I see my stepmom. She has a mix of like hopelessness and being, yeah, some kind of emotionless, like really down mood. I give her a hug. We talk, just exchange some few words. I see 2 police officers there, and they just, when I look at them, they just point into a room, say, your dad is there. I enter the room and see my dad. His head is slightly tilted to a side, looking away from the door. So I walk to the side where I could look into his eyes. And as I walk towards the bed, I see his hands is handcuffed to the bed. I'm filled with more stress, more uncertainty. What's going on? But I'm also relieved. How many of you ever been relieved seeing someone that you missed and really care for? You can type R for relieved in the chat. Yes, thank you. Our eyes meet and I feel calm for a moment. 3 years later, it is 2018, and it becomes a fact that my dad has to go to prison because that night that he wanted to kill himself, he wanted to jump from a balcony. He changed his mind as he was about to do this. Luckily, I really appreciate that because I got to see him. So he changed his mind. He called the police for help. They came. While the police was there, my dad had second thoughts, and he thought, it's better to just set myself free and carry through with my plan. So he wanted to go for the jump. The police held him back, but in that situation, a police officer felt threatened by my dad, and my dad was found guilty in threatening this police officer, and he has to be responsible for his action and do a sentence in prison. And that makes me very lonely. And can you guys imagine the shame of telling people that your dad is going to prison? Yes. Can you imagine how hurt I was at the time? Thank you. One day, soon after he left for prison, I get a call. And with very low energy, I see it's my dad with very low energy. I ask, how are you doing? He asks for some favors to take care of things in his home because he's away. He tells me about investments that needs to be taken care of, that I need to do on his behalf. I'm starting to feel my chest is tingling and my body is getting tense. And he also tells me that there are some papers that need to be filled out in his business that I need to take care of. Fuck you, you can take care of your own shit. You need to fix this yourself. I smashed the phone, feeling so angry. and lonely, just collapsing to the floor. I feel very sad. A whole month later, I'm attending a personal development seminar because this dark time of my life really sparked the journey of my personal development. And at this event, we're singing One Moment in Time by Whitney Houston. And I start crying. I have tears coming down my chin. And I can feel how much I'm hurting in this relationship with my dad, with that need to be right in some way. And I can also feel how much he's hurting. I write down all my emotions, write down what's on my mind, and I decide to go and visit my dad in prison. And the reason I tell you all of this is because if we stay stuck in some kind of story, if we stay stuck in some place, we're really missing out on life, because life has so much to offer. And there's so many relationships that are brink of destruction because of the lack of communication. And if we find that our story becomes more important than living life and finding fulfillment, I really believe we're missing out on life, and that we will feel unfulfilled, we will feel stuck. And that is what I had on the screen is all about. Let me bring up the whiteboard again. There's some people call what we just went through, some people call this the success cycle. Because your self-concept, what you believe about yourself, what you're telling yourself, how you see yourself, really affects the beliefs, the mindset, the potential that you believe you have in yourself, which going to determine the actions you have, which going to produce certain results. And all this result that you're creating will drip off down as experience. That's why I'm sharing this with you, because there is always some light. And my dad is one of the persons I'm the most proud of in terms of looking inwards. You guys say this, being open, being truthful, being able to admit and being responsible. And when we are responsible, when we can look ourselves in the mirror and we start telling ourselves some more empowering things are so much more possible. You said this, guys, like anything can be possible. Type an A in the chat if you're with me on this, that anything can be possible when we really step into greatness, when we unlock the most magnificent version of ourselves. So right now, I want you to think of something that you want to achieve in the past that you know have achieved. It could be maybe asking your partner out for the date, or maybe it's just approaching some person, maybe a girl or boy that you had a good eye to. Maybe it's getting the position you have now, whether that's in a job or in a business. Just think about something. If you haven't come up with something you have achieved in the past, right now you're too hard on yourself. So avoid that. Come up with anything. The bar is not high for this. It could be changing that. Maybe you had a workout session today. Maybe you said thank you to someone, really acknowledge someone for the work, whatever it is. And I want you to write down for yourself. You can also put in the comment box, what were some of the elements of the self-concept you had that made you go, that made you take this action? What did you believe about yourself? How did you see yourself? What did you tell yourself? Yes, Aralia says she started a company. I allow myself to dive into a relationship that is a bit controversial for my family. But I love that. That's beautiful. You stepping out for your own needs, what you want. You're living life at your terms when you're doing that. Monish, design and build my own home. That's a commitment too. That's a project. I have no idea about building homes. But we can find out the answers if we put ourselves in a state where we are resourceful, when we look for the answers, when we say, I can do this, when we know why we want to do that. I love this. Thank you, guys. So what potential was inside of you when you believed like you can do this? What potential did you believe was inside of you, guys? Was it slightly bigger at the minimum? I believe so. And what kind of actions did you guys take? Think about that for that thing you accomplished. Must have been bigger, right? Yes. So right now, in a moment, we're going to do a closed eye process. So just make sure you at least sit comfortably. I invite you to stand up. And because I want you to think about something you really want to achieve. Again, it can be do something, be something, give something. Whatever it is. What I found as well, the smallest things can matter. And as this comes to you, what do you want to achieve? Why must you achieve that? Because I want you to be able to celebrate this success in advance. So with that, close your eyes. And who are you as you have accomplished this goal? See yourself already having this accomplished. Who are you having this goal accomplished? And what is possible for you? What are your strengths having accomplished this? Who do you become as a result? What are you telling yourself? What is your potential? Yes, feel that. Breathe in that confidence, breathe in that strength inside of you. What else are you telling yourself? And what do you see as a result of having this accomplished? Make that voice of yourself even bigger, and the image you're seeing, make that brighter, make that bigger. And truly step into that, feel that. Yes, feel it, breathe that in, breathe in that version of you that having accomplished this. Yes. So guys, you can slowly come back. So what is it that will really allow you to ignite this best version of yourself? Yes, guys, how does that feel? Type in the comment box one emotion that's coming up. I feel strong and resilient. I love that. Yes. Yes. Anything is possible. Yes. So what will really allow you to ignite this best version of yourself? Let's have a look at this. So we talked about this this figure here. Let's see if I can make some more room for this. Yes. Okay. So yeah, we talked about this earlier. How many of you remember this person we talked about earlier? Yes. And the thing along our way to igniting the most magnificent version of ourselves, we might meet some what someone would call resistance on the way. Resistance is whatever holds you back from being the most magnificent version of yourself. And in many cases, it's this circle up here, that this is your brain, and the small part up here is your conscious mind. So if that's a small part, what is the big part, guys? Type in the chat box. What is the big part? If the small is your conscious, what would the small part of your brain be? Or sorry, the bigger one, the big part. Yes, subconscious mind, exactly. And inside the subconscious mind is what we could call the little mind living there. Is that voice that we all have that talks us down, that say we can't really do it, that it's not possible, that you're not the right person, you don't deserve this. How many of you know what kind of voice I'm talking about? Yes, type a yes in the chat. Yes, thank you. And this voice can be triggered because we have a lot of emotions that can be stored in our body, and through triggers, through experiences, this can come forth. Just think about it, like, let's say Monish and I, we're gonna do some venture together, and 1 month I'm really short on cash, so I'm gonna ask Monish, hey Monish, could I borrow 10,000 from you? What I don't know is if Monish in the past has borrowed money to someone else and he wasn't paid back, how is Monish gonna feel about my request then? Not good, right? That's because that triggered something, that little mind, that voice. Now, in some session later, so that's why I encourage you to stay tuned, is I'll dig into this with emotions and expressing these things. But right now, we can face many forms of resistance along the way. So how do you really penetrate that resistance? How do you really penetrate that? Like, how can we break through whatever is holding us back? Put it in the comment box, guys. What ideas do you have in order to break through whatever could be holding you back? I'm curious to hear. Put it in the comment box. Meditate to find back to composure, yes. Any other ideas, guys? So meditate, this part, as we talked about, we take some action, right? So what I would like you guys to do is, do you have something to write on, maybe a piece of paper? Okay, we're gonna do it this other way. Can you guys hear me on this? I'm gonna use my laptop. Can you give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, or type S in the comment box for sound? Okay, S, yes. Okay, thank you for your patience, guys, and flexibility. Really appreciate that. So, okay, where were we? Yes, maybe you hear that. Do you guys have a piece of paper, something, maybe a post-it note, something that you guys, yes, Manisha, this is a good example to always stay in a beautiful state. Exactly. Guys, any piece of paper, it doesn't have to be a blank one. Maybe you want a blank one because you might not be able to use this paper afterwards. But find yourself. So we're with this figure that's on the screen. How can we really penetrate that? How can we break through the resistance, whatever is really holding ourselves back? How can we really do that? We had meditate, I remember, came in through the chat. Any other ideas? Bring it forth. Because that's the thing, if you also have a pen, guys? Or do you have a pen, a pencil, or something? What I invite you to do is to fold your piece of paper in fold it once. You can hold it like this and move your hand to one end. So from the middle or wherever to one end. And yes, hypothetically reprogram. Yes. So if you have a pen, just like you can follow me and push as you hold up here, you can push down and just really hard. So you make like a hole in the paper. That's we took some action. And with that action, you guys know it, we're gonna get some experience. And the bottom here is the resistance, and we get some experience. So we like broke through that resistance, that limiting belief. And we have some new experiences. So we went through the wall again towards where we want to be. So it is again and again, we take some action, we get some progress, maybe learn new principles, and it puts more pressure on this resistance that you're feeling, that you want to break through. And maybe you, as you guys said earlier, you connect. Just let it come through the comment box as well. I think comes to your mind. What else could help you break through this resistance that you might be having? Reach out to others. I love it. We talked about this is a tribe connection. So you get support from others. That is more pressure on this resistance that you have. Another hole is put through this resistance that you're having. To share your story, yes, because when we make it about something bigger, we can usually go further. We can get leverage on ourselves. It's like the reasons get bigger when it's about doing something for others. So in the end, if you guys had a paper, is there like much left in this paper now? Like how easy? Yes, I can see you guys are smiling. How easy is it to get through that paper right now? I'm curious to hear, like, if you like to share what what just happened, you can raise your virtual hand, and I'm curious to hear from you guys what just happened for you as we went through this. You can raise your virtual hand. Let's see. Yeah, would anyone like to share what just happened for them? Please raise your virtual hand. Yes, Aralia says the more pinches, the easier it was to continue battling that resistance. Yes. Yes. Exactly. I love that. Thanks for putting that in. Yes. So, and another thing is like with enough reasons why, we can really push through any resistance that we have, because as we connect to that purpose, as we make our reasons big, it will be so much easier to get going. And the more reasons you get, the more like leverage you will get to yourself. Because usually, like if we list out 2, 3 reasons, maybe 10, 15, whatever the threshold is for you, the first reason that comes up could be good reasons. And what I found in my experience is that the more reasons we come up with, the deeper we're willing to go, because it's kind of like an onion where we take off layer by layer by layer. And as we really go deep, we get to the emotional, type E for emotional in the comment box. That will really get us going. Yes. Makes sense? Yes, MS, yes. So what's something that is like going on in the world today that is kind of a bit of a challenge in terms of pursuing some of our goals? Let's have a look here. You know that as the time's gone by, like over the past years, technology has been going up. Post-pandemic, yes, it could be that. Financial insecurity, that as well. Thanks for bringing in these things. And over the past, like a decade, just think about how, let's see, social media has been becoming a bigger part of our life. And with technology, like now AI is coming, a lot of people are being laid off, but with the social media trend as well, like a lot of people spending a lot of time on the phone or other devices, scrolling, and we're seeing all these beautiful images of other people's life, etc. And for many, it's like creates this, for many, like unrealistic thing of what they want, or they tend to forget as well, like what's really important, connecting with people, coming back to oneself as well. So it's like the mental health has really been going down. And in society as well, like there's something going on that we could call the Great Resignation. People are withdrawing, like closing up, keeping more to oneself. You know, in dating, like there's a term come up that is called ghosting. It's people that they don't even show up to the date. Or in workplaces, it's known as silent quitting. How many of you heard about silent quitting? Type SQ for silent quitting. Yes. Thank you, Munish. Yes. It's people are leaning back, doing minimal effort just to collect wage. This is like settling for mediocrity. I'm not blaming the people. No, it just, and the reason why I call this awakening is like, it's all about getting the awareness, being present, being consciousness. Start to think. How many of you are thinking a lot? Type T in the comment box. Yes, T. So maybe you're thinking too much. Maybe you think that. How many of you think too much? Yes? Anyone can? Yes, too much. The thing about thinking too much is that you're actually taking the time to think, because most people are just walking around in a trance, not even aware what's going on, not even spending any brain calories thinking what could be done differently, what is happening. So thinking is actually good. You guys deserve a round of applause for that. At least pat yourself on the shoulder thinking, because most people are not even thinking. And as you guys said, these days, people are seeking inspiration. People feel stuck. They feel this loneliness. We're meant to be together. You guys said this. It's all about being part of a tribe. It's all about becoming more as we grow and do more. And I really believe that life is too short for mediocrity. Let's embrace fulfillment. Who's in for that, guys? Type F in the chat box to feel fulfillment. Yes, to embrace that. Yes, Manisha, feel inspired rather. Yes, people feel inspired rather than inspired, if I get you right. So fulfillment is the key. And how can we really get there? Because in this time, as I mentioned, what I see is that many people, they go for pleasure in the moment. What gives them instant satisfaction? What gives them instant satisfaction? Oh, what a word. My mouth doesn't seem to be working today. Maybe you guys already got the word. What gives them instant satisfaction? Thank you. Type it in the chat box. What are some things that people do to get that pleasure in the moment, to like instantly being gratified? Some people, they go shopping. I love it. Sex, yes. Some people turn to alcohol. Some people turn to Netflix. These are all things to, yes, that's kind of like addictions. Food, Manish, yes, exactly. It's all about like having that pleasing in the moment. But the thing is that that's kind of like dabbling around. You're walking in that trance, you're not aware. So for those of you who said you're thinking, it's good, because with thinking, you might have gone even further, but the next step is what I like to call, and this is a level of consciousness. So the first one is pleasure. The second is mediocrity. So these are levels of consciousness, like how aware are you? And there is 3 of them, one more afterwards. But so type C for consciousness in the chat box. Yes, thank you. So in order to go from pleasure to mediocrity, you at least have to think, you at least have to be aware that there is something more to life, that something more can come, and that you're meant for something more, you want something more. But with mediocrity, unfortunately, many people here in this consciousness level are procrastinators. Like, okay, they know they want something, but they're not really taking the action. They're not addressing the elephant in the room. So for example, maybe you say the relationship is great, but it's not really. It's like then you settling for some lower standards opposed to what you really want. How many of you know what I mean? You type MS again, makes sense. If you follow me, yes, exactly. So what's like the top level here? It's all about coming to find that fulfillment. I believe I misspelled it with double L in the beginning, but you guys get it. It's that fulfillment. It's really being aware of what standards are you willing to set for yourself? What boundaries do you have for yourself? What do you accept? Who do you want to be? This is like to step into being that king or queen in your relationships, to be that champion in your community, the guru in your job or business. Or if it's just for yourself, live life at the fullest, have standards for yourself where you get to enjoy life at the fullest. Yes? So guys, let's do something fun and quick for a moment. Everyone, please stand up. Yes, and we're gonna do a quick stretch, and I wanna hear you moan. If I could hear you, I'm gonna imagine it as you go this way, and let it come out. And let's go to this way. Let's do gently to the back. And to the front. Yes. Yes. And how many of you realize that there is some research done that some people, they can actually go on for 10, 20, some even 30, 40, 50 years feeling stuck, unfulfilled, and then they tend to have suicidal thoughts or being depressed. And how many of you don't want that to be you? Yes? Type a yes in the chat box. Yes, I can see the yeses coming in there. Yes. And that is why I do breakthrough coaching. It's okay if I tell you a little bit about coaching and how that could be the fastest way for you to really unleashing that, being the most magnificent version of yourself. Is that okay? Type a Y in the chat for yes. Thank you. Thank you. And the most important thing through coaching is to be able to learn to identify patterns. Type a P in the chat and use them to create positive change. You can type PC for positive change. And over the years, with being where I'm at, let's see here. Over the years, I spent an amount of 60,000 to invest in myself to be where I'm at. And I don't want you to spend that kind of money to unlock the most magnificent version of yourself, and in order to get to fulfillment. And a coaching package that I have is has a value of 2,500. Better, yes? Type a Y in the chat. Yes. And this is the coaching package that I created is for this launch in particular, and it is 5 sessions. 5 sessions. You can type 5 down, and you will be able to have 3 sessions. We'll take a break for a week, and then 2 more sessions, so you actually get some time to implement. And coaching happens virtually through a call, so you can be anywhere in the world, doesn't matter. And I'm flexible, so we will find a time that works for both of us and for those that are in for coaching and do that. And I'm curious, how many of you have a family member or a partner, maybe it's intimate or business partner? Type a P in the chat. Yes. And how many of you would like to offer your partner, whatever that is, the business or intimate or family or friend, how many of you like to offer your friend as well to go further and faster as long as you, because I really believe that friends or family who learn and grow together stay together. So how many of you like to be able to offer this to friends or family as well? Just type O for offer. Sounds good. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Now, guys, yes. So the thing is that the family or a friend or a partner, they can join that package for $1,995 when you offered it, as we talked about. Now, guys, how many of you remember that at the start of this seminar, I talked about these dark years of my life, and I shared a story about my dad. And I would have felt like a failure if my dad had passed away. And in these dark years of my life, I felt so stuck. I felt so lonely and sad because I was so afraid of being judged and show all sides of myself. How many of you ever been afraid of being judged? Anyone? Yes, thank you. But when I started to implement all these things that I can share with you as well, to really find the ways to tap into that inner strength and be bursting with the power, I've been able to have more passion, live life on my terms, and just explore life to the fullest, and also to give more and be more, and attracting a beautiful soul into my life that is now my girlfriend as well. And I have the most magnificent relationship with my dad as well, where we can really talk about things. So since this is a launch party, I want to do something special for you. I can't do it for everyone, but for the first 3 of you who stand up, because you need to be in a high energy state, you know, if you're going to change your life. So the first 3 who are going to click the link that I'm going to put in the chat in a moment, I'm going to do something really cool for you. And the thing is that what I'm going to do is going to be available for the first 3 of you, because this involves my personal time, and it's only valid for the next 24 hours, because I really want to work with decision makers. Type DM for decision maker in the comment box, because in my experience, decision makers produce the better results because they get the experience faster. And in order to really get in on that deal as well, you gotta complete your first intake session within a week. So sit up straight, open the comment box. I believe you guys already had that open. And for those of you who decide to come, it's not going to be the 60,000. It's not going to be the 2,500. Your family or partner, they are going to get a voucher of €50 to join in, because what I'm going to do is that your investment to get from where you are to where you really want to be is only going to be 347. There's going to be a link in the chat box really soon. I'm going to post that really soon. And for you as well, you will see it on the screen, the link that you can go to. And there is a promo code that you use, it is launch 0823. The gift surprise is only valid for the 3 first of you. The link is gonna come in the chat. And the thing is, I'm not gonna give you 5 sessions, you're gonna get 6, and your friend or family also gets 6 sessions. This is 1-to-1, 6 sessions over a 2-month period. And both of you, if you offer this to friend family as well, you're also going to get 3 months access to my tribe. That is where you get to be in the Zoom rooms when I have world-class trainers, guest speakers coming on, sharing their knowledge. So click on that link and you can get the promo code. Is for the first 3. And I just quickly want to share about Manuela, a woman from Austria. She's a teacher, and as a woman, she knew she had to be independent, and especially financially independent. Now, she was fearful of investing, but she found out she got to be responsible. She sought out coaching, and I was working with her, and she got the courage to invest. And the best result she got was a 204% return on investment within a year of starting. And the best of it all, she's on a continuous basis, investing and making a profit from it. It's because all of that, finding that courage to break through the resistance we talked about, what's holding our back, the limiting beliefs, she was able to do that. I worked with Alex, a coach consultant in Norway, and he increased his price and service fees 1,000% quickly after working with me. And also I want to share about Manju, an Indian guy who moved to Norway to work here and live here. His wife and kid was still in India, and every time he talked with his wife on the phone, they had, it became friction. It was friction talking about how to raise their kid. I had a talk with Manju, and I quickly got to learn why the friction came up. It was things that he was saying and the approach he had. And very quickly, I was able to share some things with him that he could approach the conversation with his partner about raising their kid. And he applied it. And when he came back, he was like, Joachim, my partner is aligning with me. It was so flow, and we had a fruitful conversation. That's the power of this, of coaching, to really unleash the best version of yourself. So we're just going to take a 5-minute break. We're going to wrap up these things. So stay around for the wrap up, and we're going to take 5 minutes. Yes. So come back, stand up, stand up, stand up. Come back, come back. Yes. And again, let's do a quick stretch as we go to this side. Yes. And the other side. Gently to the back. And the front. And for those that took up on to invest in yourself, congratulations. It's beautiful. I'm looking forward to be working with you guys. It's going to be a magnificent journey together. So a round of applause for those that took that decision. Yes. So where did we all start with, like, on this journey together? We talked about the first step of getting clarity, being aware. We talked about thinking, and some of you said, I might be thinking too much, but it's actually a good thing, because thinking, and especially if you use these brain calories to be open, to be vulnerable, to be truthful, because the truth will set us free. Type a T for the truth. The truth will set you free, because with that truth, you can make a decision. And what is that about? Like, what will get you guys going? Let's just wrap that up. What is going to be a key differentiator for you to say that enough is enough? I'm going for this other thing. This has to change. I'm done with it. Think about the other things that you accomplished within that closed eye process. What is the key differentiator? What gets you going? What really makes you take that decision? Cut through that paper, you know? We had this paper. Now it's torn in half here. What I found is really getting these reasons why. Gotta figure out what gets you moving. Because yeah, it's all about taking better care of myself. Aralia, thank you. Yes. And then is integration. Really owning that, stepping into that, seeing ourselves having already accomplished it as we did through the closed eye process, celebrating this in advance. And really get the experience, one step at a time, getting more and more punches in the resistance, so you finally get to break through it. Because whatever you want, whatever you want to be, whatever you want to experience, whatever you want to feel, is on the other side of that resistance. So right now, let's just quickly, 30 seconds, let's brainstorm some ideas on how can you, on things you can do to be more aware, so you can catch yourself, become more aware of your patterns, more aware of habits, things you do. What are things you can do? Put it in the comment box, things you can do to be more aware, to really like kind of take a step back from yourself, to get that awareness on what's really going on, to spot these patterns, to identify those habits. Pause. Yes. Just stop for a moment. And what can you do in that pause, Monish? What would you do in that pause? And Alia says, implement rituals. I love that. Making rituals, making some routines or some structure around it, or some ceremony, something that we can do that gets us to kind of have a pause, but also to make it really easy for ourselves as we have fixed rituals. Yes, and Monisha is count to 10 in order to consider. Yes, allow that. I would like to add to that because it's beautiful. Take a deep breath. I found that to be a good thing, to just radically calm down, in order to take a step back, look at the situation, what's really going on. Journaling is coming up. Thank you. Yes. And there are many formats to journaling. Something I do, writing down like, what have I accomplished, like some successes. And again, I appreciate small things, what I've been feeling, what have I learned, what I've been doing. And at some points as well, I keep track of if there are habits I want, there's some idea you can explore. Love it. Exercise, meditate. Thank you, guys. Yes, gratitude, appreciation. Wow, that is a huge one. I notice a huge difference in my day when I start my day off with a gratitude practice. How many of you feel a change in your day when you start your day with gratitude? Type a G in the chat for gratitude. Yes, I love seeing some of your smiles, guys. And in order to get that experience, maybe get clarity on how things are going to work out, it's also taking action. And if the little mind comes up, you can go like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Because what happens if you flip it around? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It never stops, right? Never stops. And you could get a coach, someone to really be able to look at you from the outside, like what's really gonna get you going, and spot some of these patterns, because some of us have blind spots. Type BS, blind spots. BS, yes. And it's a reason why they're called blind spots, because we might not be able to see them ourselves. So the life of fulfillment is on the other side of that pleasure mediocrity, of dabbling around. And the change starts with clarity, with making a decision and integrate it. Make it easy for yourself to live that on a daily basis. Guys, it's been phenomenal this time together with you. I'm really proud of your investment to show up. You guys said you had some other things on your agenda. As we began, you were still thinking about that. You finished through the finish line. You like pushed through the finish line. You're still here. That's a big commitment in investing in yourself. And that's the best investment you can make. Make sure you guys stay tuned. If you're listening in on YouTube, hit the subscribe so you get notified as I'm coming on later for next sessions to embark on this journey together. And you can go to embrace to beautiful state of life, sign up as well so you get notified through email as well. And also join me on the conversations on LinkedIn so we can continue in between these sessions as well. The conversation on how to live a fulfilled life, being the most magnificent version of ourselves. For those that are here in the Zoom room, part of the tribe that was invited to this call, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for teaching, Joachim. I really appreciate that. And stay tuned. Stay tuned with me. So I'm looking forward to seeing you again. And with that, enjoy the rest of your guys' evening. Make it a great one. You guys are amazing. So pat yourself on the shoulder for that. Make yourself a great rest of the night.